Shilpi is asking from somewhere in the States. I have said somewhere, in matters of truth, thought is not useful. It's even a handicap. So Shilpi is saying, but thoughts is all I know and have ever known. If I close my eyes, everything is a thought. The itch on my hand and the other hand scratching it too is a thought. If I had not seen the image in my head, I would have never known the itch nor the scratching. My family is a thought, my children are a thought, even God is a thought and the teacher is a thought. If everything that I have ever known is a thought, then why should I believe that something outside of thoughts and space and time dimension exists? Everything that tells me something beyond exists is thought, and if thoughts are not to be believed or taken seriously, then I am screwed because I have been on a wrong quest. Why should I belittle my thoughts and term them frivolous or false or not divine truth? They are the ones that have helped me so far. Outside of these thoughts, there is nothing that I can know of. So why to condemn them? They are like my babies, and I see no belief that there is a true God somewhere that is not a thought. You will have to answer it. Looking at your own life. How will you explain love? Thoughts have reasons. Thoughts have causal linkages, backward and forward. Each thought comes from somewhere and leads to something. How do you explain love? Where does love come from? Do you have to think to love? How do you explain sleep? You would admit that when you are sleeping nicely, comfortably, then you are not thinking. Are you in distress then? Your problem is not that you are not convinced of a thought-free stage. Your problem is that you are not convinced of a thought-free state for yourself. If I say that in sleep you are thought-free and yet blissful, you would retort and say, yes, there is bliss, but not for me. You want to experience the bliss along with everything that you are. In sleep, bliss is there, but all that you are is not there, so that bliss appears so useless. You are not questioning freedom from thought. You are questioning whether there is freedom from thought for you as you are. No, there is no freedom that way. So you have to make a choice. You have to decide whether you are more particular about preserving yourself, or is that bliss dearer to you? Are you getting it? That which you are questioning is not totally unknown to you. You do not really dispute it. If you have ever known silence or love, then you cannot dispute that there is something beyond the little you. If you have been ever awestruck by anything, then you cannot dispute that there is something beyond you. Come closer. If you have ever listened carefully to me, then you can never dispute that there is something beyond you. And that is not a product of thought, because I just do not give you the time to think. When you are with me, do you get the space, the occasion to think? You don't. If you are attentive, then you are taken to a place where there is just you. The baggage of thoughts, the swarming of the bees is not there. So you know that that exists. That you can call as silence or truth or bliss or God or whatever. You know that that exists. Hence I am rereading your question. Now your question is, can that exist with me? Can I exist with that? Can the two be simultaneous? Can the two remain separate and yet concurrent? No, they can't. जब हरि था तब मैं नहीं, जब मैं हूँ हरि नहीं. Simple. Full stop. That beyondness is beyond dispute as well, because all dispute is thought. That beyondness is beyond questions as well, because all questions are thought. That beyondness is beyond my teaching and your listening, if my teaching and your listening are a thought. Beyondness need not be proved, because beyondness is such a cunning thing. All you are saying is that what you are saying is all right, but there is something beyond this. Now how do you disprove that? You can only disprove something that exists. In beyondness, all you are saying is whatever exists has something beyond it. Now how will you fight that? Hence the saints are always on a very solid footing. You cannot quarrel with them. They say what you have is all right, but there is something bigger than this. How do you fight with that? And they are saying that that which is bigger than this is not in the same dimension as this thing. How do you fight with that? Because in this dimension you can prove that there is no Taj Mahal bigger than the existing Taj Mahal. And this dimension is all that you know of. In this dimension there is scope for proofs and rebuttals. But what they are saying is that there is another dimension that is beyond proofs. There is a Taj Mahal in a dimension that is beyond any Taj Mahals. So where there can be no Taj Mahal, there is a Taj Mahal that is better than this Taj Mahal. Now fight that. They are not claiming anything at all. What they are saying is, where there can be no Taj Mahal, by that they mean a world that is not yours. A world in which space and earth do not exist. So where there can be no Taj Mahal, there exists a Taj Mahal more beautiful than this Taj Mahal. Now you cannot even take the first step to counter such a statement. Why? Because your first step will come from thought or imagination, and what they are saying is, in that world there is no thought. So you cannot enter with thought, and thought is all you have. Please understand. What they are saying is, there is another dimension that is untouched by thought, and you start thinking what that dimension could be, and you have lost it, and the saint is smiling. The only way now you can counter the saint is by, you want to investigate that dimension, right? And the saint is saying, in that dimension there is neither space, nor time, nor earth, nor moon. There is nothing. No person, no animal, no thing, no idea, no past, no future. That is that dimension. And in that dimension there is a beautiful Taj Mahal, more beautiful than this Taj Mahal. Now you want to investigate that dimension. How do you investigate that dimension? You want to enter that country. Kabir keeps talking again and again of another Des, another Amarpuri. You want to investigate. You want to prove Kabir wrong. You want to prove that no such Amarpuri exists. For that, what will you need to do? What is the necessary condition?
You will ask for proofs.
Surrender.
Kabir is saying there is another dimension in which there is a Taj Mahal. And in that dimension there is no thought. You cannot enter that dimension with thought. Now you want to investigate whether there is a Taj Mahal in that dimension. What will you have to do? You will have to enter that dimension. And you cannot enter that dimension with thought. So what will you have to do? What is the condition?
Surrender.
You will have to?
Surrender.
You will have to be silent. Because Kabir is saying that only silence can enter there. Your intention is to investigate whether that Taj Mahal
Exists or not?
exists and whether that Taj Mahal is more beautiful than
This one.
this Taj Mahal. But what is the password to that dimension? Even if you want to investigate that dimension, what is the password?
Silence.
Silence. So to enter that dimension, even for the purpose of suspicious investigation, what will you have to do?
Be silent.
Be silent. The moment you are silent, Kabir smiles. That's all that he wanted. That's all that he wanted. The moment you are silent, you discover that silence itself is the Taj Mahal that is more beautiful than all Taj Mahals. Now you don't want to look at some building, any construction. This construction, this destruction is more beautiful than any construction. Done. Game over. The first step, silence, is the last step. Now there is no need to inquire whether that world is indeed just as Kabir describes it. And he describes it in very colorful ways. He says the sun is forever shining there. There is no sunset. And even as the sun is shining there, you can enjoy the beauty of the moon and the stars. And there is no death and no old age, no disease and no fear and no suffering. You want to counter all that. You say, no, that cannot be possible. To counter it, you will have to go there. To go there, you will have to be silent. The moment you are silent, Kabir runs away. His mischief is successful.